Tabor, graduated 2000 from HSC and went on and swam at Cornell a couple years, and then picked up an MBA at IU, and has just been a great supporter of the swim club for many, many years. His dad was a huge supporter of our club, and actually his dad led the Indiana Swimming Judicial Board for many years. And probably his greatest claim to fame is that he was roommates when we went to Matt McDonald's Hawaii wedding. He, Dan Johnson, and my wife and I were all roommates in the same Airbnb.
It was a great experience. It's great.
What made you choose Ivy League over like any of the Power Four conferences?
Yeah. So my background is I actually got recruited for Dartmouth. So I did a visitation up to Dartmouth, walked around. I don't know if anybody's been up there. I'm sure Valentine's on the call or not, but whatever. It wasn't my favorite campus, and I didn't like the way they had set up the housing situation, where you were going to have to go to school in the summer. So long story short, decided that wasn't what I wanted to do. And on the way back from visiting Dartmouth, I was with my dad, and we decided to swing by Cornell because he had a friend that had gone to school there. And while we were there, we swung by the swimming office, started talking to the coach, quickly realized that there was another swimmer who was a year ahead of me, who was also from the state of Indiana, named Bill Dillon, who is at Cornell. Made that connection, started talking to Bill about Cornell, really liked the campus at Cornell, and then ultimately decided that was where I wanted to go to school. I looked pretty heavily at IU as well and staying in state. I think one thing I would encourage, and something I think about with our kids, is that you try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and just see a little bit more of the country. And going out of state, if you can do that for undergrad, gives you that opportunity to see another part of the country, expand your network. And then if you want to do just like what we did, move back to where you're from, and move back to Indiana to raise a family or what have you, at some point later in your life, you have the ability to do that. But when you're young, 18 to 22, having that opportunity to go out of state and interact with different people from a different geography in the U.S. and have that opportunity to expand your network, I think was beneficial and something that I was interested in.
Were you scared going out of state, Scott?
Oh yeah, very much so. I was 18 at the time, barely knew where upstate New York was. I've been to New York before, but I'd never been to upstate New York. It's an interesting time to leave your family too, right? I'd never done my laundry before on my own. I was fortunate enough to have, a mom who helped care for us. I was a stay-at-home mom, and was great. I don't think she's picked up a pan or done my laundry since I left school when I was 18, 20 years ago. But that's another story, and that's all right. She earned it. So yeah, I was scared. It's scary times, but you look back on it and you look at the connections you made, the friends you made. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience.
Did you use all 5 of your official visits?
I did not. I used 2. I was not fast. I was fast, but I was not fast enough to, let's say, go and swim at a Big Ten university at the time. So I did not have multiple college offers. I could have swam at a couple of other universities that were D2, but that wasn't necessarily something that I personally was interested in doing. So no, I did not use all 5. If given the opportunity, and I would encourage my kids this too, if they were ever given the opportunity, unless you are dead set on a career path and that school offers studies in that career. Let's say if you want to be a doctor, and XYZ school has a great undergraduate pre-med program, and you are dead set on doing that, I would encourage you to use all 5. Right. And Andy's probably, and your coaches are probably the best people to talk to about that, given your particular situation and your interests. But I would think you would want as many options and see as many options as you possibly could.
So when choosing your career or what you want to do, has this been like has this been like a goal that you've had for a long time, or have you had to change a lot before you knew what you're going into?
Yeah, so I've definitely changed. So when I came out of school in 2004, I went to work for an investment bank in New York that is now part of JP Morgan. The firm did not survive the global financial crisis. I left before just because I didn't enjoy what I was doing that much and wanted to move on to other interests. I worked in a sales and trading hybrid investment banking role with a firm called Bear Stearns and Company. We worked on structured products, which I'm not going to bore you with the background on, but they were time sensitive investments that we would sell to institutional clients that required a tremendous amount of work to get out the door every month. And so we worked, roughly 100 hours a week. There are certain weeks I definitely worked 6 days a week. Some weeks I worked 7 days a week, and would go into the office on Saturdays and Sundays. It was tough. We had an air mattress under my desk so that I could sleep a couple of hours if I just wanted to sleep while I was waiting for attorneys or accountants to send me back comments or to hear back from potential investors. So I was 22 to 25 at the time when I was there. It was a great experience. I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about what I could handle. And to some extent, I think you're trained by that just from doing swimming. Swimming is a tremendous amount of time commitment, right? I mean, it's 10 plus practices a week sometimes with weights and dry land. So it's a lot of work and takes time commitment and takes time management skills. My entry level job on Wall Street was that probably time and a half, but it was more mentally exhausting. But long story short, it was a great experience. I'm happy I did it. My wife now was actually in my analyst class there. That's where she and I met. She had the desk in front of me, the cubicle in front of me. So it was a great experience, one that I'd never want to do again. So I think the stat that I've heard is that most people will have at least 3 careers in their lifetime now, which I think is a good thing, right? When you're 22 and you're fresh out of college, not everybody knows what they want to do. And you may try something, you may like it, and maybe that's the career you pick. But most people aren't that fortunate. Some people have to try a couple of different roles before they really find what they want to do and what they love. And if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So sometimes it just takes a couple of times to figure out what you want to do. And I truly love what I do.